Joining me right now, joining all of us right now, is going to be senior CNN legal analyst Shan Wu, defense attorney and former federal prosecutor. For a time, he served as an attorney for Rick Gates, the star witness in the first trial of Paul Manafort. And CNN chief legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin is here. Jeffrey, does this surprise you?
Well, I mean, what surprises me is that he didn't do it earlier if he was going to do it. I mean, all of the benefit you get from cooperating is you don't force the government to go to trial. You get the benefit in sentencing of cooperation. He will get some benefit in sentencing from cooperation, but it certainly wasn't advantageous of him to go to trial and then cooperate.
So is this confusing a little bit in part?
It is. I mean, you know, criminal defendants don't always act very rationally. They sometimes are angry, they're nervous, they think they can beat a case. He obviously didn't beat this case. But the real question now is, and the question that consumes the whole matter is, what is he telling Mueller's office? What does he know about other people's criminality? And what does he know about any illegality, in particular, regarding the Trump campaign in 2016?
Shan, what do you think, and this is an unknown, but what's the universe of possibility of what the terms of this cooperation agreement could be?
Oh, I think we can discern that without it being in writing. It's a little bit unusual. It was not reduced to writing, actually. If I were his counsel, I would have wanted that guarantee in writing. But the universe is a very broad one for the benefits to Manafort. I mean, if his cooperation is helpful, his sentence could be vastly reduced through a number of mechanisms. They can file a letter asking the judge to go beneath the guidelines. They can do what's called a Rule 35, asking for the sentence to be reduced later. I agree completely with Jeffrey.
What kind of jail time was he looking at?
Well, if you're looking at the Virginia one alone at this point, it looks like under the guidelines, that's probably going to be around 10 years. The D.C. one could have been much higher when you put on top of that, but I understand that part of this deal was they capped it at 10 years, and I would expect that his defense team is looking for it to be substantially less than that in light of the cooperation. And, you know, to Jeffrey's point, it's surprising he didn't do it earlier. It definitely would have been advantageous for him to do it earlier, but you know, people in this situation go through a very slow change in their attitude. They start off very angry, often in denial. His team clearly was willing to fight very, very hard. They took a gamble splitting it into 2 cases, and that began to unravel early. And this is a huge victory for the Mueller prosecution. They just put huge pressure on Manafort, tying up all his assets in the bail negotiations. Most of those are going to be forfeited now. They flipped his business partner, Gates. So it's just been a march of going forward with tremendous pressure, and now they've basically caused him the case.